Space Dandy Season 2, Episode 3, Slow and Steady Wins the Race, baby. Definitely a funny episode. One of the really cool ones where they use a different animation style, and this one was actually really unique compared to the others because the animation style was actually different even before Dandy actually went to the other planet. When they were in the sort of food marketplace, the animation on Dandy was different. It was the same for Meow and QT, but his was different pretty much the entire episode. And it was really close to it, but you could tell it was more like the loose art style, which I enjoyed. I thought it was really good animation. Funny episode, really weird. Some of my favorite moments were like Meow using the teleporter when he teleported himself by accident. That made me laugh really hard because it was just dumb. Like, why would he even try that when QT already went through the explanation? Like, if you get teleported to this planet, you're stuck. So he hits the beam off the mirror, teleports himself, and it was just a funny scene. And he just blinks out of nowhere, like nothing changes except the fact that he disappears. And then the scene right after that, when he's on the planet, and Dandy and the fish are riding, and Meow now are riding this giant invisible halibut, and Dandy just stands up and he walks and he just falls right through the middle and just went through one of the giant open holes. That had me laughing really hard too. But I thought it was a really good episode. Of course, the Gogol stuff was just they found Dandy again. End of the episode, they end up saving him really, and then they get scorched by the sun coming in. Just typical for them. They just that's what they do. They come in, they find Dandy, they come into the episode in the last like 10 seconds of it, and then they get destroyed or wiped out or something silly happens, and then everything goes back to normal for Dandy and his crew. But overall, I thought it was a good episode. The fish kind of had it harsh. His story was kind of messed up. He was stuck on the planet for 10 years, and then he built the ship to get back to his planet, but he couldn't do it because he was a fish and he couldn't lift the ship up. And then he gets back, and it turns out that his girlfriend ends up marrying like his friend or whoever, and their voices were just weird. I wasn't expecting that at all. He's talking like a fairly normal person, and then she comes in, and it's sort of like the Valley Girl type of thing where they're just so dramatic, and it's just like, oh my gosh, and stuff like so silly, and it was just really funny. And like his friend said something like, "You're over exaggerating," or he said something, but he said it wrong. He said like exaggerating, but he said it in a weird way. I thought it was funny, and then the guy kind of lost his mind. It was like, I've been gone for 10 years, and right after he goes off, the entire planet's just like, we don't really care about space exploration. And now the fish kind of just wants to kill himself, and he does when Meow ends up catching him and trying to save his life. He dies anyway because he's been burnt too much, and he gets eaten at the end of this episode. But it was a funny episode. I definitely enjoyed it. Meow suffering the entire time was really funny too. Him trying not to eat the fish the whole time, I thought was really funny. And just the whole episode was just him freaking out because he was starving, and Dandy's just literally doing what he says, like slow and easy wins the race, so slow and steady. And he just does nothing in this episode, and it was just really silly. And another hilarious part was when he was talking to the fish. He's like, "See, you should have just relaxed." He's like, "You can still come with us." And then he realized his hair was on fire, and he freaked out. That was another really funny scene in this episode. So it had some really hilarious moments to me that I think I didn't laugh like that in the last episode because that one was sort of a lot more serious in tone compared to the season premiere, especially with the Michael Jackson Dandy. Like that alone, just I still watch that now, and it's just so funny to me. It's really silly, and this had moments like that where I could go back to it. Not as funny as the Michael Jackson Dandy thing, but they were definitely funny in their own right, and I could go back and watch them. Like Meow lasering himself through the mirror was just so stupid and funny. The scene in the beginning when Dandy was talking about how he didn't care about girls with large breasts. He's like, what I really care about, and Meow said it before he even could do it. He was just like, booty, and he's like, booty, and then he looked at him like, all right, you got me. I thought that was a funny scene too, but overall, I definitely enjoyed this episode. I'm curious about the next one with Dandy kind of being in school again. That has me really curious. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but this was a good episode. Really weird ending. Like I said, the fish thing is actually really sad. Like, he left the planet for 10 years, all he wanted to do was get back home. And when you look at it that way, it's just depressing. Like if it was a more dramatic TV show, it would be like sad music, and it would just make you feel upset because this guy left for 10 years, and then his girlfriend got with his best friend, or like I said, whoever, because we don't really get any explanation, and no one really gave a crap about him. They just kind of wanted him off the planet because they didn't like him, and all he's been thinking about is getting back to his girlfriend and his friend, and they're together, and they have like great great grandchildren who are apparently super hot just like they are, which that was silly too. But then he ends up killing himself as the sun's coming in to destroy the planet, which it does, and it kills everyone on the planet. But they don't really focus on that because it's Space Dandy. So just a good silly time, good episode. Meow finally got to eat at the end of the episode. He was starving the whole time, teleporting and all. Dandy just barely made it when he teleported himself. But overall, I enjoyed the episode. I'm definitely excited for next week's episode. Comment below, let me know what you guys thought of this episode, your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and what crazy invention-based episodes would you guys want to see. I think this was a really good episode as far as this one crazy teleporting invention that is a really weird invention because no one could really teleport themselves unless they did the mirror thing. No one could really teleport themselves completely anywhere else without it messing up. It would be a weird way to do it. But if you guys had to make up an invention or something like that, what would you guys make for the series, and how do you guys think the episodes would play out? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.